Hey guys, Marmalade here from Marmalade Outdoors. I have a question for you. When you backpack, do you feel like it takes forever to get out of camp and get on trail? Well, if you do, this may be the video for you. Over the years, I've kind of perfected a system in which I can get up in the morning, get packed, and get on trail within like 20 minutes. So stay tuned and watch the rest of this video if you want to see how I do it. All right, as you can see, I brought most of the stuff I normally bring on a backpacking trip. I noticed I forgot my rain jacket and jacket, but it doesn't matter. I want to show you, you'll get the idea in general when I show you how I pack up. But that's everything inside, so let me take you inside the tent and show you what I do when I wake up in the morning. All right, before we simulate me getting up in the morning showing you how I pack, there's some things you can do to save time the night before. And this is part of where I was terrible getting up. It took me at least an hour and a half, if not longer. I think partly because I was newer at backpacking when I started my through hike attempt, but also, you know, it's cold in the morning, nobody wants to get up and all that stuff. But I had a lot more gear too, which took longer, but I also had what you call the pack explosion. Because when you're tired, you get in the thing, you're hungry, you just want to blow up your air mattress, and I would throw stuff everywhere. So two things happen. It would waste a lot of time at night. So what I mean by this is I have like a pee bottle here. This is a Nalgene canteen like this. So I have this close by. I have my headlamp. There's a side pocket to my triplex tent here, just like this. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's a pocket. I put it close to me, whichever side I'm sleeping on. I have a beanie close by. Sometimes I bring gloves, sometimes I don't, but I have gloves nearby. Maybe something to charge with, my electronic battery, and then a lot of times I like to sip on water at night. I put all these things in a certain area in a certain corner of the tent every single night by my head in the same place. And the reason for that is so in the dark I can find it, especially if I need to go pee or I need the headlamp or something. I know where everything is. I used to throw it wherever, and then in the middle of the night when I needed a headlamp, I couldn't find anything. So just kind of be more organized. Put things you don't need till the morning by your feet if you need it. If you think it's going to get cold, maybe have a jacket or two handy or nearby so you can grab it. I've many times I've put my warm synthetic or puffy jacket on in the middle of the night when it gets cold, and it has a hood so it keeps me warm. But try to be organized so in the morning you don't have stuff everywhere. And so a lot of times I used to actually have to organize my tent before I actually packed up and left. So hopefully that's a good tip just to get started. So let's get in this thing. It's a little rough. It's Southern California. It's 70 degrees, and I'm going to get in this 10-degree quilt, but we'll make it quick and get out of here. I'll show you how I pack up. One of the things I want to start with before I show you how I do it is how I pack the kind of the things I don't need. That happens to be a food bag. If I have a bear canister, of course I'm going to put it, you know, like 100 feet away at least. Some of my like poop kit and all that kind of stuff, maybe extra clothing, whatever. All things I don't need. There's my sit pad right there. I just leave over here to the side. I'm lucky this is a triplex, so it's a pretty big tent, so I have plenty of room. I generally sleep at an angle like this just to give myself more room. So anyway, this is how it looks before I start packing up. I want to show you that before I start showing you the steps. All right, this is getting hot, so we got to do this quick underneath this quilt. But one of the first things you want to do is figure out when you want to be on trail. I normally try to get on trail when I'm through hiking, not necessarily casual weekend trips, but by 6. I am 60 years old. I am a pretty decent hiker, but I'm the way I figured out how to get more miles is to hike longer. So I'm more efficient when I get out of camp, so I save some time there. And then also I do breaks a little shorter now, less breaks, but when I do a break, not an hour, I'll do like 20, 30 minutes, you know, and then I keep going. So I hike more, even if you're not fast. If you just hike more and less breaks and get out of camp more efficiently, you'll have much more time. I mean, I've saved like an hour more during my day between shorter breaks and get up in the morning, hour and a half that I can hike. And if I hike 3 miles an hour, that's 3 miles every hour, so a mile every 20 minutes. So just think of it in terms of that. But so the first thing I do is when I wake up, one of the hard things is because it's cold, right, to get up. So one of the things I always do is do this, and this is the worst sound in the world in the morning, but is to let the air out. The ground's cold. If you don't do this, you're gonna keep falling asleep or laying down. So let the air out. You'll start getting cold naturally. So what I do, you know, once I kind of wake up a little bit, is I grab my backpack, and it's important to not only be fast and efficient, but pack the same every time. We all have a little bit different gear, so it has to be different for all of us. I happen to have this with me. It's a Z-Packs Arcol Ultra. It's a 60 liter, and I have a white trash compactor bag liner to keep all my stuff dry. So the very first thing I do, and there's reasons for everything I do, but I put my quilt, sleeping bag, that's fine. Put that in there. I used to put it in a stuff sack, and reality was my stuff sack was very tight. It was like a log because the stuff sack barely, the sleeping bag or the quilt barely fit in it. But when I put it in the bottom of my pack, there's all these voids that weren't being used. So now I put it in loose. It's in a plastic bag, so it's going to be dry. And the reason why you do this is a couple things. I don't need my quilt to the very end, so when I'm unpacking at the end of the day, I don't need that to the very end, right? So the main thing you do, why you don't put it in a stuff sack, or why I don't, is because now when I put other things on top of it, it's going to literally use every square inch of the bottom of my pack. So I'll give you an example. The next thing I do, I don't have my jacket and rain jacket with me. I forgot at home, but I'll put those in there too. And there's a couple things I'm doing. I'm trying to put softer things in there. You can also put like, sometimes I'll put, once I rinse out my pee bag, I have a, give me 1 second here. I keep a rubber band around it. But once you have that, that can fill in some of the soft voids in your quilt. Different things like, and I throw in like my beanie and my gloves in there, and there's a lot of stuff, soft stuff in there. But by doing that, later on when we compact and push this all down, it's going to fill all the voids and you maximize the space you have down there. I don't need the gloves, generally speaking. One thing you may want to leave out if you have a chance for rain that day is leave out your rain jacket for later, which I'll explain. So I have different things, and the reason why I'm building a base, generally speaking, I don't have a bunch of food with me. I have a food bag here. It's got 1 day's of food. But normally you have 3 to 5 or 6 days of food. This bag, as you know, if you ever backpack, is quite huge. And you always want the heaviest thing in your backpack to be in the middle. So nearest your back and torso. That way when you have your weight on your hip belt of your pack, and it's helping support the weight of your pack, you're not having to have, like let's say for instance you had all this heavy, the heaviest thing on top, you're going to become top heavy and very easy to slip and fall, and it's just actually hard to hike that way. So I'm building a base so I can put my food bag in the center. The other thing I do before I get too far is, you guys might want to do, here's a pro tip. I have this Sil nylon, it weighs nothing bag here, and this is my snack bag. So what I do is either the night before, actually do this the night before so it also doesn't slow you down in the morning. I pull out all my snacks for the next day. I put it in here and I put it in the stretchy pouch, which I'm going to show you in a minute, on the back of my pack, because when I take a break, the last thing I want to do is unpack half my pack that I'm going to show you and to get my food out. And what if you have multiple breaks, you need multiple food? I put all the snacks for my day in this. That goes on the outside. I never have to go in my pack. Many, many days when I'm doing 20, 25 mile days, I never go in my pack once. So that's a pro tip. So after you built a base, you get your, let's pretend this is a bigger food bag. You put that in and pretty flat. And actually, I'll take that back. Before you put this in, I put my air mattress. I fold it up. That's another tip. You don't really need your stuff sack. You have a liner from this here, and stuff sacks tend to be heavy. I fold mine into basically a rectangle shape like this, and I just literally put it flat and build a base that my food sits on. So you put the air mattress last before you put the food in. And then once you have the food in there, you can fill it up with other things. If you think you're gonna need a rain jacket, oh, there's another thing. You can put your pillow here. I have a pillow here. Put that in there. So put that in there, fill in some voids. Look and see what else I have. The other things are going to be on the outside. So basically, the last thing will be the tent, which I'll show you. And the reason why I do the tent last, and I think most of you do this, but I think it's common sense, but you never know. But when you get to camp, the first thing you want to do is set up your tent. It's also, you're really tired, you want to get over with, but if you were to get caught in a rainstorm and you haven't set up your tent, you're going to be in kind of trouble. So you want to set up the tent first. So I put it in last on top. It's also very light, mine is anyway, so it doesn't make me top heavy. And like I said, I get that out of the way when I first get to camp, and then I'm set to have some dinner or whatever. So we will not put this in, but let's continue on with the outside pocket. Okay, so here's my outer mesh pocket. You can do this in any order. I usually have my water filter somewhere in the middle because I do grab that off and on all the time. I have my stakes for the tent here, which I'll show you in a minute once I'm done for the tent. My ground sheet that's also underneath the tent will go here. I put those things because those stakes and the ground sheet I don't touch all day while I'm hiking. I have a little piece of Tyvek for my doorstep that you may have noticed, but that folds up and goes down here. I wear reader sunglasses, so you see me a lot in just regular reader glasses. I have a very light, I got it at the dollar store, just a case. I didn't bring it with me, but a case that kind of goes here. And then my electronics. This has my poop kit in it, electronics, and first aid, all in this little ditty bag. So this always goes out there. And how you decide to do these kind of things is you want things that you might need access, right? If you need to go to the bathroom, or you need a Band-Aid or something like that, or I have my electronics in here in case I want to get some earphones on a break and listen to music or charge up my battery a little bit, so I have all that there. And then I usually last put my snacks kind of this black bag here on top and just kind of put it here. So again, easy access things that you need to grab during the day. Now when I have a break, I don't have to go into my pack, I can just go right here. So that's everything. Let's take that back. You got a water bottle here. So what I'm doing here is, if you do this and you get practice, like I'm filming here and it still only took me like 10 minutes. Like when I'm here and I'm not filming and moving the camera around, this literally takes me like 10 minutes to do. And so I have progressed to not wearing sleep clothes. If you have to change, you do that real quick before you start packing up. But I wear my hiking clothes, and I wear a pair of, if it's cold, I like a light pair of rain pants, or I have some light and equipment wind pants that are 2 ounces. I'll put those on. That kind of keeps me a little warmer and keeps my quilt and my air mattress clean. But basically I'm wearing, and the night before I change into my second pair of socks that I wear, so they're clean, so I sleep in them. And when I wake up, I'm literally dressed to hike. And I can leave the wind pants on until it gets warmer. I can take them off. But that's one way I save time too. So you should think about that too. If you can, I wore sleep clothes for the last, I don't even know, 6 years. So it's something new for me, but that's another way I've lightened my load. So now what's left is you're basically done. I have everything out of here. The only thing I have in the tent now is the bag the tent goes in. So let's take down the tent, pack up, and that should take us only like 15 to 20 minutes. All right, guys, that's about it. Pretty simple, right? Just be efficient the night before, pre-plan, and when you get up, and I'm going to give you 2 more things that kind of are why this is good. Because if you're getting up early and you're hiking, and you hike, let's say I like to hike about 12 hours, so from 6 to 6 roughly, you'll get to camp in time to set up and have dinner and relax. It's nice to, I really love camping as much as I like the hiking and enjoying my beautiful campsite, hopefully. But if you do these kind of normal hours, when you go to bed early, with hiker midnight being about 8 o'clock, when you do a lot of miles, and there's not much to do out there besides, camp, eat, and if you're with somebody else, talk. But then it's, people start to pass out about 8. That's another reason why you can get up early, get on trail by 6. So one of the benefits of this only taking about 20 minutes is, instead of having to get up, let's say you want to start at 6 in the morning, instead of getting up at 4:30 because it takes you so long, you could literally sleep into 5:30, take 20-30 minutes to get ready, and be out by 6. I don't cook breakfast generally. I cold soak my coffee, so I put some coffee, sometimes Carnation Instant Breakfast in there, and once I start walking, it mixes it up. I don't cook stuff, and that's one of the ways that I think people spend a lot of time in camp is heating coffee, making breakfast, having this, having that. And it's like, what I do is put this in the coffee in here, pack up, I get walking. I get about 2 or 3 miles down the trail, and then I have something for breakfast. It can just be a snack because I'm not a big breakfast eater, but I do put some food in me. But I hope that helps you guys. Let me know how you do it, if you do anything differently. I hope that helps. Let me know if you try it and how it works. But that's it. That's all I got for you. Please consider subscribing and liking and hitting the notification bell up here if you'd like to be notified every time I have a video. I've got a bunch more coming out soon, so stay tuned. I'll be getting on trail to hopefully finish the PCT this year, this summer, and I'll have a video about that eventually. But if you'd like to help support that journey, there's ways to do it down in the description box below. And that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you down the trail.